The Overman accepts that he may never be able to perceive all of reality, but he doesn't give up. He leans in. He trains the body, the mind, and the brain as instruments of will. He reads, fasts, studies, stretches, meditates, trains, and reflects because he knows the more conscious he becomes of his limits, the more he can expand beyond them. To master the brain is not to make it perfect. It is to become aware of its habits and make conscious decisions about what you allow it to shape. You don't get to choose your brain, but you do get to choose what you do with it. And that is the work of the Overman, to reshape the tool, to rewire the limits, to touch more of the infinite than the world said it was possible. The body and identity. Your body is the first thing the world sees and the first thing the world uses to tell you who you are. Before you can speak, walk, or think critically, society interprets your body for you. It names your parts, assigns your gender, labels your race, and defines what your body means in the world. You don't get to choose that. Not at first. Society does. This is where identity begins, not in some internal mirror of the soul, but in the external classification of your physical form. You were told who you were before you got to decide. That is what makes identity so heavy, so political, so painful. You were born a self, but the world told you what kind of self you were allowed to be. Your skin tone, your height, your beauty, your disabilities, your sex characteristics, your voice, your facial symmetry, all become data points for how the world reads your worth and what future it would allow you to access. Race? Not real. White supremacy? Very real. It is a myth with real world consequences. Race is society interpreting your body, and racism is society punishing you for not fitting its fantasy. White supremacy was never built for non-white people. It was built to keep poor white people loyal to a system that doesn't serve them. Rich white men needed a way to prevent class revolt, so they invented a new caste, whiteness. They convinced poor white people that their shared skin mattered more than their shared struggle, that proximity to power was better than liberation from oppression, that at least you're not black was a gift, not a chain. But if this were the 1600s, the MAGA voter and the BLM protester would be standing side by side burning Elon Musk's plantation to the ground. But race keeps them divided. Hope keeps poor whites loyal to a system that uses them. The dream of one day keeps them docile. This is what white supremacy is. A distraction for the masses, a shield for the ruling class. It promises inclusion while delivering obedience. It promises power while delivering poverty. White supremacy isn't a gift to white people. It's a leash. It's also why radical black leadership will always be the solution for white supremacy. Actualize what they said couldn't be. Defy them boldly, and the lie crumbles itself. The United States has been on a decades-long propaganda tour to get common white people to believe that racism ended in the 1960s with the passage of the Civil Rights Act, and everything else is just the radical left trying to steal their country. But poor white people do not have a country. And they never have. Poor white men were not included in the writing of the Constitution. White women were not included in the writing of the Constitution. Wealthy white men were more concerned with how to count black slaves than they were with creating a fair society for poor white men and white women when they were drafting the Constitution. Many of the rights poor white people have access to now came after radical black movements because nothing shows the fraud of white supremacy like black people actualizing what they said couldn't be actualized. If racism ended in the 1960s, then Martin Luther King Jr. would have made it out of the 1960s. But he didn't, because the United States government was involved in his assassination. These are facts settled in a court case brought by the King family against the government in the 1990s.